Hello, good evening. It's Thursday night, April 30, 2020. It's our episode two. Tonight's show brought to you by Calgary Storm Basketball, Great Way Financial, K Accounting, Clearport, and East West College. Tonight's show, we have our guest show is head coach Ranbir Parmar with SAIT Women's Basketball. Hey, Coach, how you doing? It's a beautiful evening in Calgary right now, and everybody's out going walking, and it's almost like it feels very summer, and with what's going on right now. And thanks for coming to the show for like short notice, and we're trying to get everybody to know what's going out there, and with your program and everything else with basketball. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me there, Coach Tony. And yeah, like you say, it's a beautiful evening, and managed to get myself out for a walk already today. And about the only thing I didn't get to do was get into a gym.
Right. So with this situation, I know it keeps changing with the politics and the doctor in Alberta and all over the world. What do you think? What do you take on this? The COVID going on right now, and with basketball, and especially I'm sure you missed out going to the gym, and I believe it's for you guys to recruit also.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's one of those things. It's an unfortunate situation. I'm probably in a little bit of a different situation than some people when they look at it, having gone through a major surgery pretty recently, and so I'm pretty concerned about my health situation, and so I don't want to jeopardize myself. Plus, obviously, putting other people at risk isn't something I want to do. And so we've got a lot of frontline workers that are putting their lives on the line every day, going out trying to help people, and we certainly don't want to make their jobs any tougher. And certainly around the city, there's a lot more important things in basketball, and we can do some stuff outside of the gym to get ourselves prepared and ready for the upcoming season.
Right. So, there's always rumors all over the place, especially the city. Can you give us a little bit about your coming up season? Hopefully we'll have a season this coming September, and what's your team like coming up this coming fall? We don't want to tell everybody about your secret or anything, but give us an idea like what's coming up this season.
The basketball world's a pretty small world, and so there's not a lot of secrets out there. And so we're pretty excited. Our coaching staff is pretty ramped up to get going as soon as possible. And so we're going to be, we've got ourselves set up with a newer group. And so we do have some returning players, but we've got a heavy group of brand new players. And there's a lot of excitement about what's going to be happening with the Trojans women's basketball program. And so we're super excited to get ourselves going. And we're planning for Plan A right now. And so that's that everything's going to be set to go for starting off as we normally would. And there's contingencies being made throughout the executive office of the league for the different avenues that might happen through the course of the season or the delayed start of the season if there is going to be one. But right now, there's no word that there's going to be a delay. And so we're aiming for starting as we normally would there just before the school year would begin.
Oh, great. Sound like an exciting, season coming up, as everybody trying to get themselves prepared. And right now, nobody will know if it's going to start in September or October. And yeah, hopefully we'll get that going. Right now, I'm sure you have an idea with the spring club and basketball, and, everybody's excited after school ball. And, what do you take them? What would you say to kids right now that especially playing club with the spring basketball? What's your idea that, to get them ready for if there is a season coming?
Yeah, you can only do what you can. And so for athletes that are out there right now, outside of their season, whether they're preparing for a high school season next year college and university or other stuff, all you can do is try to get yourself opportunities to get in some reps if available. If you've got access to equipment at home, possibly. If not, then yeah, you get active. You do what you can, and every team is going to do some stuff along the way here to make sure that once things do open up, that they're on a firm footing to get a running start on getting themselves sorted out. Everybody's in the same boat pretty much right now. Nobody's really going to get a head start on anybody else. We've got an incoming athlete from the U.S. Who had their opportunities open up this week to be able to get out and do some stuff. And so maybe they are getting a little bit of a head start right now. But all we're doing is keeping our fingers crossed that no matter what happens, everybody's going to be able to stay healthy. And once things open up and you get access to facilities and equipment, that they're going to be in a position to do so.
Well, Coach, with this situation at this time, and with I'm a very big fan, so I know you're a women's coach, and do you have any idea who would be the top WNBA recruits for top players? It's just kind of interesting that first time ever they don't do their draft in a big building, and everybody just sitting at home and waiting.
Yeah, it looks like all the pro sports are going to the virtual draft this year. And so WNBA was the first one that had a kick at the can, and they did a good job with it. There's some real good players coming out of the college and international levels that are going to be joining the WNBA. And so even though they didn't get a chance to finish off their seasons with the March Madness tournament, the WNBA has some serious prospects. The Liberty obviously getting the first pick there, but they had 3 picks in the first round, so they managed to load up. But so did Dallas. Dallas had the second pick, and they also had a couple other first round picks. And so both New York and Dallas look to have a really good young group coming in to load up their depth charts.
So, Coach, if the season's coming up, who's your favorite to win?
Oh, it's tough to go against the reigning champs. Best player in the WNBA right now with Delle Donne, and even though they didn't have a first-round pick, I don't think they did, manage to keep their team going and strong, and they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, it's not like how the NBA, everybody gets traded everywhere, but for some reason, for the women's WNBA, they kind of intend to stay together. There's not much trade going on, and mostly, that's probably a good. Like if you run a program like your program, it's probably best. Am I correct with that, Coach?
Oh, for sure. Continuity is one of those things that can only help, and with the league, it's not a gigantic league with a dozen teams and 150 players, each team restricted rosters and such. And so trying to crack a roster is pretty tough. And so the talent level in that league is pretty good. And when it comes down to being able to put a competitive level of action on the floor for people to watch, I believe the ratings are going up, and so are their salaries. And so to attract the best talent from across the world to come into the league and make it an opportunity for them to get a living wage and such is it's only going to get better. Fingers crossed that they can keep everything going, and then this delay to training camps and kicking off to the league doesn't impact them too much. I don't know which is tougher to deal with, delaying the start of the season like they are having, or like some of the other leagues, the soccer and the hockey and the NBA, who have a delay to the end of their league. And so it's tough to say which is tougher to deal with, but everybody's having to make accommodations for it. And everybody's having to deal with the same issues, and so it's a fair playing field as far as that goes.
Right, right. Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time, and we learn a lot of stuff, and with your conversation, I always love talking with you, and the next time around, and we're always going to be following you around with the SAIT women's team, and hopefully the best for you. And yeah, thank you very much, for coming out tonight.
Appreciate you having me, Tony. You and your family have always been good to us, and any chance I can do anything for you, you let me know. And for sure,
Sure.
keep the Trojans in mind. There's some good things happening there, and both the men's and the women's side. It's an exciting year to come.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Thanks, Coach.